Oh no, disaster. Help.
That is it, guys. Walk away, that's it.
Chris hopes his simple classics, watercress soup and butternut squash risotto, will prove his culinary skill.
It's a nice texture, but most of that is cream and stock. And there's not a lot of watercress flavour left. In fact, if I was blindfolded, I may not be able to detect it's even watercress.
How do you keep the watercress flavour in, put more watercress in?
Tons.
Right.
I also think you brought it to the boil on the stove. If you do boil that watercress too much, it starts to go slightly bitter and you're just getting the bitterness in the back of your throat.
I like the sweetness, the contrast of the butternut squash against the creaminess, starchiness of the risotto, but your rice needs more cooking, it's slightly chalky. I like the food that you're attempting to do. You're not pulling it off completely, but I like your style.
It's almost cooked enough, but it's not cooked enough. And it needs a couple more glugs of stock in there, and it really needs to be able to give it a bit of ferocious heat, really to just make it come together a bit. It's all right. Is risotto enough to push you through, to make you go to the next round?
Of course I'd love to go through. You know, I've really, really enjoyed it, and I hope I do.
Vicki wants to deliver flavour and presentation with her menu of scallops, mashed peas and chips, followed by a chocolate fondant.
The flavour of the pea and the spring onion and the scallop is fantastic. Then you got potato, which is quite earthy, and it washes away that flavour. You don't need those chips.
I just didn't know whether it was enough.
You just need something like a blob of mayonnaise holding that together. Fantastic.
The vibrancy and the sweetness of those peas is killing the scallop.
Yeah.
If that would have been a puree with some cream in it, it would have got soft. You'd have had something wet to dip your chips into, and that super, super fresh, sweet flavour of that pea would have died down with it as well.
Right.
The issue here is not your recipe is right. It would have had a lovely, soft, oozy, saucy centre, a wonderful cakey outside. The issue was timing, you just didn't cook it long enough.
Yeah.
The little bit of sponge I've picked up is as light as a feather. That would have been a dish most certainly worthy of the next round. That's so near, that's so almost, I want to cry.
Everything you said was constructive, and I think that when you want to do really well. It's just a bit daunting.
Lewis is out to win, with shellfish and gnocchi in a white wine broth. And for dessert, mixed berries with an orange cream and strawberry sauce.
You have got beautiful flavours of the tomatoes that slowly cooked, the shellfish oozing their juice out, and garlic, and it's absolutely lovely. And gnocchi is a very mundane mixture of flour and potato with no flavour at all, that's just soaking it all up and taking it away.
Right now, you need about 7 different types of cutlery to eat with that. You need a spoon, a fork, a knife, a crab pick, 2 separate bowls on the side, 4 napkins. Actually, they're going, how do I eat it?
Just throw your face round in it, John.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, rah, rah, rah. The flavours are very, very good. Seriously, very, very good indeed.
Good flavours, and what on earth half the Atlantic Ocean and 3 kilos of spuds is doing in there, we've no idea. That strawberry is so deep and delicious, that strawberry sauce, that the orange zest you've put in there is virtually strangling it. Right. That's what comes through at the end. And that sauce is so deep and so heavenly, I think there should be more of that. Again, it's knowing what to leave out.
It's not a bad dessert. You spend a lot of time on that first course. I still think you can make that dish actually look really, really sexy, Oz. You, for me, are quite an interesting person because I think most of the time the concept of your dish is just completely outrageous. But I still think you have an interesting natural touch.